It's been 13 weeks since you first welcomed CS311 back into your homes. Since then, we've explored some of the most pressing crime problems in Jamaica today.
And try to empower you to protect yourself. And most of all, to encourage you to use your voice to become a part of the crime solution. I am Deidre Dixon.
And I'm Leroy Hall. Tonight, for our last show, we bring you season highlights and update you on some of our ongoing stories. CS311 is next.
Crime Stop Jamaica and National Bakery, in association with TVJ and our sponsors, Guardsman, Home and Things, Careers Jamaica, Grace Kennedy, Progressive Grocers and Musson Foundation, present CS311 with Deirdre Dixon and Leroy Hall.
Crime Stop is proud of its achievements of almost 3 decades, and we hope Jamaica will continue to support us.
This season, we relived some of Jamaica's bloodiest crimes, and with it, some painful memories. We revisit some of these crimes that are still unsolved. It's not too late to call us.
Shortly after 9 p.m. in Sterling District, just outside Grange Hill, 5 gunmen wearing bulletproof vests walked through the community, firing at will, and approached the home of Sheldon Morgan. Sheldon Bobo Morgan and his son Sheldon Jr. were shot to death. He pushed the grill, called out to Mr. Francis, and peeped in the door. On seeing all the blood, he immediately called the police. The police arrived at 2 p.m., entered the premises, and discovered the lifeless body of Mr. Orville Francis. There was no sign of forced entry, but the evidence of the life and death struggle was everywhere. After the shooting, 2 men lay dead and another injured. A groundsman from a nearby villa was doing his daily rounds when he stumbled on the lifeless body of a young woman. She was fully clothed, and a single key numbered 216 lay beside her body. Desiree Gibbons' throat had been slashed. A recently hired property manager heard the screams and went to assist. He too was chopped as the machete-wielding murderer made good his escape.
But not all of our stories ended tragically. The interview of human trafficking survivor Shamir Mackenzie struck a powerful chord with many viewers. Tonight, she shares the details of her escape to freedom.
And I was trafficked in 5 different states: New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Texas, and Florida. But when we got to Florida, he put me in a very high-end strip club to work. This is a strip club where all your actors, actresses, ball players, really high-end businessmen come to this strip club, and my quota ranged from $1,500 to $3,000 each night. I went from bringing $3,000 to $1,500 to $0 home. And he asked me, well, what was going on in the club? And I'm like, I don't know, no one likes me anymore. And he pulled me out that club, and he put me on the streets to work of South Beach. And, I even met a Jamaican gang, and the leader of that gang tried to help me. The plan with his guy was to rob my trafficker and kill him, but I couldn't follow through with that because my conscience kicked in. I couldn't kill anyone, so as a result of that, I was raped at gunpoint. Everything is failing. So when he put me on the streets of South Beach, I was thinking, well, if I stop making money he wouldn't want me anymore because money is their goal. Money is what drives them. When you are being exploited, when you're being trafficked in this manner, traffickers don't give you money to say, hey, this is $10 for lunch, or, get something to eat, because if you don't make your quota, you don't eat. Another girl and I, who he was exploiting, made friends with a guy to get something to eat, and we were sitting there eating, and he saw us and called us back to the car. He immediately started beating the other young lady up because she was sitting in the front seat, and he turned around in the back and he said, what am I going to do with you? And I said, just let me leave. And he said, you want to leave? I'm going to give you $5,000 and you could leave. But I knew that wasn't going to happen because I saw him perform that same act on another young lady, and when he was finished with her, her body was just lifeless on the living room floor. So when we got back to the house, he went upstairs and I heard the sound of his gun. After having previous encounters with his gun, I knew this time he's making sure the gun is loaded. And all these other times when I've had near-death experiences with him, I wanted to die. I felt death was the best option. Death would end this misery that I'm in. But on that particular day, something inside me say, run. I did not want to die that day. And so I remember running around in this gated community, and this guy was in his garage, and he said to me, what are you doing running around here? And even in the midst of running for my life, I told a lie that I was programmed to tell by my trafficker, because, when traffickers manipulate you and really get inside your head, they tell you what to say to people who are trying to help you. So you can never say he's your pimp or your trafficker, he's your boyfriend. Right? And so when this guy said, well, what are you doing running around here like that? I said, I am running from my boyfriend who's trying to beat me up. And that guy had a 2-year-old little girl with him. And he said, well, come here. If you come here in my garage, he won't find you. And he closed his garage. And I trusted that guy because he had a little girl with him. And that guy helped me escape. And that's how I got out.
One of the keys to Crime Stop's success is our partnership with the media who carry our message. We are joined by Media Association Jamaica Limited's chairman, Chris Barnes.
The MAJ is integral in the triangular partnership between media, the private sector, and the Jamaica Constabulary Force, with a united effort to reduce the country's crime and violence. As founding members, along with the private sector organization of Jamaica, we couldn't be more proud of the program. In 29 years, Crime Stop has proven itself impeccable in providing an anonymous conduit for information on all types of crimes, which has contributed significantly to the national effort at crime reduction. The MAJ's contribution to this effort has been by way of providing airtime and pages, along with other media formats, to enhance public education and increase citizen awareness. The CS311 program has served as a very effective campaign to arm each citizen with the information they need to remain safe. We laud Crime Stop's successes of the last 29 years and commit to continue playing our part in this very important partnership. Remember, the responsibility lies within all of us to curtail this monster and make Jamaica a safer place for this and other generations to come.
Some of the missing people whom we have shown on this program are still out there, maybe unable to get back to their families. Please do not turn away.
Missing, brought to you by Progressive Grocers. 20-year-old Kadeem Brown of Pleasant Heights, St. Andrew, has been missing since Saturday, February 3, 2018. He is of dark complexion, medium build, and 165 centimeters tall. Kadeem Brown left home at 8 a.m. for an undisclosed location. He was dressed in a white long-sleeve shirt, blue jeans, and black slippers. He's not been seen or heard from since. 20-year-old Sadiki Fairweather of Peters Rock Road, Norbrook Heights, St. Andrew, has been missing since Wednesday, March 7, 2018. He's of dark complexion, medium build, and 168 centimeters tall. Sadiki Fairweather was last seen at home at about 10:10 p.m. He was dressed in a brown shirt, jeans, and brown slippers. 26-year-old Xavier Nelson, A taxi operator of Hopefield Drive, Maypen, Clarendon, has been missing since Thursday, March 22nd, 2018. He is of dark complexion, slim build, and is about 187 centimeters tall. Xavier Nelson was last seen at home at about 7:45 a.m. He was wearing a white t-shirt, brown jeans, and a pair of black and white slippers. No one has heard from him since.
Popular culture and musicians are often blamed for putting a positive spin on criminal life. But how much do they contribute to the problem? Journalist George Davis has an interesting theory.
In 2003, the multimillionaire, perhaps billionaire rapper and businessman Jay-Z recorded a song on his Black album called Allure. In that song, he rapped about his life hustling drugs on the streets and being part of an organized drug running ring, name-checking individuals he hustled with and dropping precepts about the drug game. This song, Allure, was a sweeping narrative about Jay-Z before music became his main source of income and was regarded by many, himself included, as the best song of his career. There's a line in that song, "I'm living proof that crime do pay." I'm living proof that crime does pay. No need to wonder what he meant. He literally saw himself as a living, wealthy contradiction to the age-old adage, crime does not pay. That attitude, articulated by Jay-Z in song, represents the attitude of criminals then and now. That's why the song, and that line in particular, had such a resonance with so many in the captive group Jay-Z made the song for. Now on that same album, the Black Album from 2003, Jay-Z rapped in a song called Lucifer, a song which sampled a minor hit from Jamaica's Max Romeo on its infectious hook, that he was from the murder capital where we murder for capital. It's an astonishing line to boast about murdering for capital and doing so in the murder capital and letting the two strands collide to formulate a fantastic rhyme. Artistically, it is a fantastic rhyme because in that 7-word bar, he uses 2 words, murder and capital, 4 times to confess that the reason for committing murder is so he can raise capital, while noting that he is but one criminal in a place that is the murder capital, not only of a state, but of the entire United States. That line was actually given to Jay-Z by the song's producer, Kanye West, who hails from Chicago, the state capital that for years has statistically been the USA's murder capital. The point made by these examples is that all over the world, crime pays, giving its perpetrators and masterminds huge dividends. And many who've earned such huge sums from crime have been able to manage to clean up their image and their hustle to now stand as role models for millions of people all over the world. As they committed their sins, people watched and paid to watch. As they took lives and destroyed others to build the high seat upon which they now sit, people watched and said nothing. Every check cashed by a criminal represents a little bit of life being drained from the community and from a country. Crime Stop was up and running before 1990. It was a confidential space to report criminal activities, even when the police were at their worst, sussing out those reporting crimes to the criminals themselves. I still remember the powerful message delivered in those ads of my boyhood. Don't hide it, tell it. Solving crime pays. Crime Stop represents one of the best opportunities for us as a nation to disrupt the activities of criminals early. Very important. Disrupting those criminal lives early. Crashing those future criminal enterprises in the infancy. And decisively acting so that we don't have to deal with them in later life, watching them roll around on their mattress of millions, bragging about how they built their empire through crime, but are now changed and sanctified, ready to dole out advice about how to live a good and clean life. The Press Association of Jamaica is happy to continue supporting the work of Crime Stop in this never-ending fight, because it is a never-ending fight, to catch and punish the perpetrators of crime. Over the almost 3 decades of partnership between ourselves and Crime Stop, our members have been willing to give Crime Stop the space and facilitation to state and reinforce their vital message, perhaps even vital messages to the public, emphasizing that if indeed there is one space to report criminal activities, then it's simply by dialing 311. The Crime Stop team does not have to worry about our commitment to continue supporting their efforts. After all, supporting crime only rewards the wicked. Solving crime benefits all of us.
We can't say it enough. Citizens like you and me can make a huge difference.
One simple call is all it takes. We don't need your name. There's no caller ID, no *69. Just tell us what you know. How much of a difference have you made already? Watch this.
Did you know? Brought to you by Carreras Jamaica. Crime Stop Jamaica 311 can be labeled as nothing less than a success. Crime Stop Jamaica has received over 27,000 first calls, 129 in September 2018 alone. We have assisted in the seizure of 786 firearms and thousands of rounds of ammunition. This year alone, at least 45 illegal firearms have been seized as a result of our information. Tips received have led to over 2,500 arrests, 331 of them for murder. Your calls have led to the seizure of over $770 million worth of illegal narcotics. Stolen property recovered totals more than $240 million. Rewards paid out totaled over $34 million, including over $1 million in September 2018. Our program CS311 can share this success. After watching the show, a runaway teenager returned home. She had seen her picture in our Missing Persons segment. Leads were received on wanted men featured in the show, and information has been received on our featured crimes. The episode on domestic violence encouraged a distraught husband to seek counseling. He had contemplated killing his wife. With your voice, you have the power to save lives. Keep watching. Keep calling.
Crime Stop has a success rate of 1 in 6, meaning 1 of every 6 first calls leads to success. Believe me, we hear you.
This season was all about rising above our fears and empowering ourselves to be one step ahead of the criminals. We leave you with our favorite safety tips.
Safety Tips, sponsored by Guardsman.
One of the places of vulnerability for us as individuals is when we move from one location to another, because not many people know where we're going, where we have come from, nor do they know what's happening to us en route. And therefore we need to ensure that we practice good safety and security measures as we transit locations. I personally believe in installing a vehicle tracking system. It's a no-brainer. You're able to bring help to you when something happens. They know exactly where you are when it happens. They may know where you've gone after it has happened. So it's very important. And the no-brainer part of it is that what it probably costs you will be the discount you will get from your insurers. We need to let our loved ones or those that are close to us know where we are, where we're going, what we're doing. So a simple telephone call. Call somebody and say, listen, I'm leaving Mandeville now, I'm coming into Kingston. I should be in Kingston in another 2 hours. If you're stopping, you're changing your plans, let that person know that you've changed your plans and what your new plans are. Use the central locking system on the doors. Lock them. You don't want to have an uninvited guest jumping into the back seat at a stoplight or a stop sign. If you must travel with your windows down, you want the window across from you. Say the passenger window, if you're driving, can be down, but the one at your window, you should have no more than halfway down. If your car breaks down, try and be a little away from it and not in it, because what's going to happen to you is everybody is going to want to come and help, and you never know when you get the wrong kind of help. You should never stop closer to the car in front of you than where you can see the back wheels of that car on the road. If you can't see the back wheels of that car on the road, it means that you're too close and you will not be able to turn from behind that car without reversing. So you're locked in. Never lock yourself in. The whole thing of observing around you as you are stopped at a traffic light or a stop sign is very important. Glance in the rear view mirror, glance in your wing mirrors to see what's going on around your car. If you are not comfortable with what you see, sit on that horn. Draw attention as best you can by blowing that horn. As you drive and you are on your journey, it's always good to glance in your rearview mirror and make note of the car that's behind you. If that car has been following you for too long, you're probably right. If you can make 3 consecutive left turns, you've actually done a circle and that car is still behind you. There's no doubt in your mind that they're following you. Drive to the nearest police station, drive to the nearest place of safety or a crowded environment that you can call for help.
There is no overnight solution to Jamaica's crime problem, but just whispering together on our verandas changes nothing. CS311 is signing off for now, but Crime Stop is there for you 24/7, 365, ready to receive your calls and information.
Hi, I'm Howard Mitchell, President of the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, and I am pleased to congratulate the Crime Stop Jamaica team for 29 years of service to Jamaica. The Crime Stop initiative was formed in the 1980s as a response to public alarm to mounting levels of crime. We were instrumental in bringing private sector interests and civil society together to create Crime Stop Jamaica. Today, the crime rate remains of grave concern to all of us. I maintain that sustainable economic development is impossible without addressing the social ills of Jamaica. Our potential as a nation is being hindered by this scourge that has enveloped our country. Yes, it is the responsibility of the police and security forces to keep the citizens, our communities, and visitors to our island safe. However, it is critical that all of us play our part in supporting the efforts of the police by reporting criminal activity. In its 29 years of operation, Crime Stop Jamaica has never been compromised. I urge you to call Crime Stop Jamaica on 311 with any information you may have on criminal activities, or to visit them online at www.crimestopjamaica.com and leave a tip. We need your support.
I'm Leroy Hall.
And I am Deidre Dixon. Speak out and keep up the fight until we meet again.